All right, let's jump right into today's explainer. When most of us think about our homes, we're usually thinking about, I don't know, the paint colors, the furniture, maybe the landscaping. We rarely stop to think about the crazy, complex, completely hidden world operating right under our feet and behind our drywall. But the reality is, right now, there is literally an invisible war raging between your home's infrastructure and the raw forces of nature. And today, we're going to expose that hidden world. We'll be looking at data and insights drawn directly from experts who battle these unseen forces every single day. Specifically, Elite Plumbing Milwaukee, who deal with some of the most challenging environments you can imagine.
So, here's our game plan for today. 1. Wisconsin's War on Pipes. 2. Top home plumbing disasters. 3. The Professional Repair Playbook. And finally, 4. The Homeowner Survival Guide. Okay, I want you to take a second and really think about this. What is the biggest threat hiding behind your walls right now? Is it just the age of the house? Is it the materials the builders used? Or is it the environment itself, just constantly pushing and pushing against the boundaries of your home? It's so easy to just forget about our plumbing, right? At least until a pipe bursts or a drain backs up. But these ticking time bombs, they're often decades in the making. Let's look at the environmental antagonist, and we're going to use Bayside, Wisconsin, as our ultimate stress test case study. This area sits right along Lake Michigan, which means homes there face a frankly brutal combination of forces. You've got extreme winter temperatures causing these severe freeze-thaw cycles. You have clay-heavy soils that physically shift and move as they freeze and thaw, putting just immense pressure on underground lines. Add to that the highly corrosive mineral-rich hard water of the region and lake-effect humidity that accelerates exterior corrosion and mold growth. Honestly, it is a perfect storm for infrastructure degradation.
That brings us to Section 1, Wisconsin's War on Pipes, when environment meets engineering.
Here's the kicker. Time is the ultimate multiplier of all these environmental threats. A lot of homes in areas like Bayside were built back in the 1950s and 60s. That means their original infrastructure, and we're talking particularly about galvanized steel pipes here, has been facing 70 years of continuous assault. Those galvanized pipes don't just sit there peacefully. They actively corrode from the inside out when exposed to that mineral-rich groundwater we just talked about. It's this slow, invisible restriction of your water flow, happening inch by inch, decade after decade, all while that shifting clay is violently pulling at the exterior joints outside.
And there's another unseen force working against your home: hydrostatic pressure. In areas near rivers or lakes, heavy rains raise the water table. This creates literal tons of pressure pushing directly against the concrete foundation of a home. It's always seeking the path of least resistance, right? So it forces groundwater through tiny foundation cracks, completely overwhelming some pump systems. It's a pretty vivid reminder of the sheer power of nature over human engineering. So, what actually happens when nature wins that battle? Let's dive into Section 2, Top Home Plumbing Disasters, Anatomy of a Crisis.
First up on the disaster list is root intrusion. Look, we all absolutely love mature, beautiful trees in our neighborhoods, but underground, those trees are relentless water seekers. As older cast iron sewer laterals age and their joints start to deteriorate, tree roots infiltrate those tiny little gaps. They grow inside the pipe, feeding on the moisture, until they cause a complete blockage. Or worse, they physically crack and collapse the whole cast iron line. So yeah, that gorgeous oak tree in your front yard, it's simultaneously an underground menace to your plumbing. Then, you have the sudden, catastrophic failures. Remember that hard water we were just talking about? Well, it rapidly accelerates sediment buildup inside your water heater. If you ignore a unit that's pushed past its 10 to 15-year lifespan, the tank literally corrodes from the inside out, and when it finally gives way, it doesn't just drip. It can suddenly dump 40 to 50 gallons of rusty water right across your nice finished basement. It is an instant, day-ruining disaster. This whole invisible war creates a massive domino effect of other plumbing casualties. You have the physics of ice expansion causing frozen pipes to literally split open, which then catastrophically leak the second the thaw arrives. You've got those cast iron sewer lines collapsing under shifting soils. You have the internal corrosion of galvanized steel completely choking off your home's water pressure. And of course, the resulting rusty water clogging up every fixture aerator in the house. It's a total domino effect of infrastructure failure.
So when these disasters strike, how do the experts actually fix it? That's Section 3, the Professional Repair Playbook, how the experts respond. The source outlines this really precise, highly structured methodology used by professionals. It's not just, a guy showing up with a wrench. Step 1 is rapid response and assessment. This means stopping the active damage immediately, and then breaking out high-tech tools. We're talking thermal imaging, pressure testing, camera inspections, just to find the hidden root cause. Step 2 is approved repair execution. That means ensuring all the work meets strict local codes and utilizing specific parts from fully stocked trucks so they can fix it in one visit if possible. And finally, step 3 is quality verification. They strictly test the water pressure, the drainage, and the temperature under normal operating conditions before they even think about packing up their tools.
Okay, 135. Sounds completely random, right? But in the professional plumbing world, this number is basically a secret code of the trade that literally keeps your home from becoming a biohazard.
It's known as the 135 rule. This is a strict plumbing code standard that requires sanitary drainage lines to maintain a minimum pitch of exactly 1/4 inch per foot. When you view it from the side, that translates perfectly to a 135-degree angle. So why does this matter to us? Well, if shifting clay soils knock your older pipes out of this exact alignment, waste can no longer move efficiently. If you lose that 135-degree angle, you get standing water, massive corrosion, and eventually really severe sewage backups. No thank you.
Now, to combat the extreme cold, there's another incredible macro-level engineering defense in place. Wisconsin code actually mandates that exterior sewer laterals must be buried a minimum of 60 inches deep. Think about that. That is 5 solid feet down into the earth, placing those pipes safely beneath the frost line so they don't freeze and shatter during sub-zero cold steps. The sheer amount of earth that has to be moved just to protect a single pipe is staggering when you really think about it.
All right, moving to Section 4, the Homeowners Survival Guide, Consumer Defense and Practical Realities. This is where we want to empower you with the objective, practical knowledge you actually need to navigate all this.
One of the absolute biggest questions we hear is DIY or go pro. The source material lays this out really impartially. Simple tasks like replacing a clogged faucet aerator or tightening a loose supply line, those are fantastic DIY projects that will absolutely save your money. But look at the other side. Whole home piping, sewer line replacements, water heater installations. These require strict code compliance, local permits, and incredibly specialized tools. Taking the DIY route on these introduces massive liability. If you make a mistake, you're risking severe water damage, mold growth, and you could even completely void your home's insurance policy.
Honestly, understanding the anatomy of a plumbing estimate is your best defense as a consumer. A standard estimate includes labor, which in the Bayside area typically runs between $85 and $150 an hour, along with the materials, permits, and disposal fees. But the hidden cost risks, that's where you really need to pay attention. You've got to watch out for emergency after-hours premiums, undisclosed retail markups on parts, unexpected code upgrades that get triggered the second they open up a wall, and the cost of repairing your drywall or flooring after the plumber actually accesses the pipe. The experts advise always getting 3 fully itemized quotes to compare these exact line items.
So, how do you actually verify a reputable professional? Well, here's a rapid-fire checklist for you. First, verify they hold Master Plumber license. In Wisconsin, achieving this requires a staggering 8,000 hours of documented experience and passing comprehensive exams. And actually, only master plumbers can pull the necessary permits, which brings us to step 2. Ensure they are actually pulling those local permits. Step 3, demand that itemized breakdown of labor versus materials. Confirm their liability insurance to protect your property. And finally, please beware of major red flags like contractors demanding cash-only payments or massive upfront deposits before the work even begins.
Well, we've covered a ton of ground today unearthing the hidden world of hydrostatic pressure, the 135 rule, and the relentless environmental war on our homes. Which leaves me with one final, pretty provocative question for you to take away from this explainer. How old is the invisible infrastructure hiding behind your walls right now? Do you know what materials are carrying water through your home and how close they might be to failing? It might just be time to find out before nature makes the decision for you.